Nigeria discharges 15 recovered COVID-19 patients as tally of confirmed cases, which is 190. A possible end to COVID-19 as Maurice Iwu says drugs for treatment will be ready soon. And US records highest single-day COVID-19 fatality as global cases surge past 1 million. Many thanks for joining us on News Now. I am Annetta Felix. More Nigerians are recovering from the novel coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. At a press conference on Friday, Lagos State Health Commissioner Akin Abayomi revealed that 4 more persons have recovered from the illness and have been discharged. This is in addition to the 11 persons that were discharged on Thursday, bringing the total number of recovered persons in the state to 22. At the conference, Abayomi gave a breakdown of the figure while revealing that Etiosa local government area has the highest number of confirmed cases in Lagos. 24 persons have so far recovered from COVID-19 in Nigeria.
As of today, we discharged 4 new patients. 4 more patients were discharged today. That included 3 females and 1 male. Of the 3 females, 1 was a girl child, the age of 6 weeks. Well, when she was admitted, she was 6 weeks, so she's 8 weeks now. Both mother and child are doing well, recovered, fully recovered and discharged. Yesterday, we diagnosed 16 new patients. So in total, we discharged 15 over the last 2 days. And yesterday, we diagnosed 16 new patients. The principle that we're trying to implement is the concept of flattening the curve. Essentially, that means that we're trying to reduce the speed at which we get new patients. That allows us the time and the space to accommodate patients that may have moderate to severe disease. At the moment, most of our patients have had mild disease, some bordering on moderate. We have had no deaths, and our patients seem to be profiling well and spending between 1 to 2 weeks on admission before they are discharged when their tests are negative.
Lagos Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, who was at the briefing, revealed that the government has put in place strategies to ensure residents get accurate information about the virus. Addressing fears about social distancing at marketplaces, Omotosho noted that the neighborhood market set up by the government takes social distancing into consideration.
We have warned our people that this is not the time for frivolities, and that this is the time for soberness. This is the time for us to be serious about the kind of information we get and the kind of information that we consume. And as I speak with you, the members of our enlightenment team, they are not resting. They are going from town to town, from place to place, telling people to be wary of the social media, and they should not consume any information that seems to be terrible, that seems to be panicky, that seems to be scary to our people. We have channels of communicating with the people, and anything that is serious that we need the people to know, we always tell them how to know it. We have radio stations, we have newspapers, even on the social media, we are all over the place. Again, I would like to urge our people to take responsibility. If the government is asking us to observe social distancing, that has proved, it's been proven all over the world that this is a way that we can push back, that we can stave off a massive attack of coronavirus. And people should please embrace this and practice it and take it to heart that we don't need to gather now for whatever reason. we should observe the rule of hygiene, we should observe a social distancing so that this disease can be stopped in its deadly track.
Meanwhile, the number of COVID-19 confirmed cases in Nigeria has risen to 190 as the government ramps up its testing capacity. Between April 2nd and 3rd, a total number of 16 cases have been confirmed by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC). The new cases were reported in Lagos, Osun, and Abuja. Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed says corpses of persons who tested positive for coronavirus cannot be claimed for burial by their families. He said such corpses will be handled by the Ministry of Health because they are contagious. So far, Nigeria has recorded 2 fatalities from the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, Minister of Health Osage Ehanire says Nigeria now has the capacity to test 1,500 people a day for COVID-19. He announced this on Thursday during the briefing of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 in Abuja. Ehanire noted that 71% of the 6,000 persons who had contact with confirmed COVID-19 cases in the country have been traced. He adds that efforts were being intensified to reach out to the other identified contacts. Meanwhile, more governors in the country, including Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, have undergone COVID-19 testing. Sanwo-Olu was tested alongside his wife, who confirmed negative. Other governors like Abdullahi Ganduje, Willie Obiano of Anambra State, and former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose have also tested negative for COVID-19. 13 Nigerian states, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, have reported confirmed cases of COVID-19, with the Nigeria Center for Disease Control warning the disease might spread into other states. On this backdrop, the federal government has asked governors to provide at least 300 bed space facilities in their respective states in case of an upsurge. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, stated this on Friday in Abuja. He said that while testing for the virus is centralized, it will be more difficult to move people that test positive across states. Mohammed, who is a member of the Presidential Task Force for the Control of Coronavirus, said that the facilities would serve as isolation centers and intensive care units for COVID-19 patients. The Defense Headquarters has reassured of its unwavering commitment to the prevention and treatment of COVID-19 patients in the country. The coordinator, Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, gave this assurance during a press briefing in Abuja. He says the military has provided an additional isolation center and is also producing liquefied oxygen at full capacity for deployment to isolation centers across the country. He also stated that the training of medical personnel to help in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic has commenced in earnest.
We have provided an additional isolation and treatment center located at the Nigerian Navy Reference Hospital, Navy Town, Ojo in Lagos, bringing the number of our centers to 18. In the same vein, the training of 80 medical personnel, active medical personnel of the Armed Forces of Nigeria to manage COVID-19 cases has since commenced. They are being trained in batches of 20 and will soon be deployed to the various units they will serve. Currently, Nigerian Air Force is operating at full capacity its liquefied oxygen plant located at 103 Strike Group at the Nigerian Air Force Base in Yola. The plant is on 24 hours operation to ensure uninterrupted production of pure liquefied oxygen. The liquefied oxygen is being gasified and will be stored in cylinders for immediate supply to isolation centers and designated hospitals as will be directed.
To create food security as the COVID-19 lockdown enters day 4, the Lagos State government has set up 22 temporary food markets across the state. This next report takes a look at the food markets sited at the Ikeja High School and the experience of Lagos residents. For the past few days, many Nigerians have been complaining bitterly about the scarcity of food and hiking price of available ones. And that's after the federal government announced a lockdown of 3 states, and that's Lagos, Ogun State, and the Federal Capital Territory. Now, the people spoke and the government listened. And here is the response: the setting up of about 22 emergency food markets across several local government areas of the state. Now, let's go inside and see what indeed happens. So one of the symptoms of coronavirus, in addition to dry cough and difficulty breathing, is a fever. So before you are allowed entrance into the temporary market, an official like this would check your temperature with a thermometer. So how does this work?
Well, you have stuff.
It's 27. Now that's very good news. The result here is at 27 degrees. If it was anything above 36, I would not be allowed entry in here. So the next thing to do, as I've been told, is to go over there and wash my hands to make sure that I am clean and ready to interact with others. Now with my hands clean, I am ready to go into the market and see exactly how Lagos residents are shopping for essentials. Let's go. What I've found is that different buyers have different experiences, and maybe it's because they're buying different things. Let's find out. Musa here says he's not had a very good experience shopping.
Yes, on the other side of the market, some things are cheap. The other side, we still urge for the Lagos State government to bring down the price of the goods that we used to come and buy here.
Okay, well, on the other hand, Jamila says she's had a good shopping experience at the temporary food market. What do you think, Jamila? Is it more expensive?
No. I think it's very, very pleasant. The prices are cool. I bought Indomie at the price of 850, where outside I buy it for 2K and sometimes 1.9.
You mean 850 or 1,850?
1,850. So I bought other things like Irish potato, tomato, pepper, okra and all that. They are quite very cheap for me.
Okay, so let's now still go into the market, see what residents of Lagos are saying.
I think we need more products, much more. Like I wanted fish. Doesn't matter whether it's dry or fresh, I'll buy it, but I couldn't get any. But I want to believe it's because of the timing. So maybe if there is more enlightenment about it, maybe they will be here in another 5 days, or they will be here like they do in the villages. They will tell you a market is every 5 days. We should know when the next market is, and they should allow other farmers to also come in.
So I have here with me the head of all markets in Nigeria, also called Iyaloja. So we've gone around, we've interviewed a few people who've come to buy, and they say that they were expecting subsidized rates, but it's almost at the same cost as they would normally buy in the pre-COVID era, and sometimes that it was even more expensive than they would buy in the market. Why is this so?
Oh, well, you know, we really have to bear with them. I mean the traders, because right now logistics issues are there. They have to move the stores, they need to go to the markets, and when we're talking about subsidizing, we are referring to the government. You can expect the sellers to sell below their costs.
So everything you see in this market is a collaborative effort between the Lagos State Ministry of Agriculture and the Association of Perishable Goods Dealers in Nigeria. Now, some buyers here have complained that they couldn't find some essentials they need, like pasta and frozen food, but at the same time, they're optimistic that the little they've been able to buy at the food market today will be able to last them for the next few days till the next market day. And that's Felix, TV360, Nigeria. Chairman of the Imo State Task Force on COVID-19, Maurice Iwu, says the drug for the treatment of COVID-19 will be ready as soon as the testing of the vaccine is completed. Iwu gave the assurance in Owerri, the state capital, where he presented a plant-based patented treatment which is presently being tested in the United States. The Minister of Science and Technology, Ogbonnaya Onu, Iwu said, quote, "The work on the drug we're developing is still going on. We're encouraged by the results we're getting, and we're getting very positive signs," end of quote. Indigenous vehicle manufacturing company Innocent Motors has approached the Nigerian government for a loan as it prepares to start producing ventilators and other medical equipment to support Nigeria's public health sector. The company this week asked for 4 billion naira to help fast-track its production of ventilators and protective gears, which may prove critical in Nigeria's battle to mitigate COVID-19 casualties. A statement by its executive director, Obinna Chukwuma, said the company has approached the CBN through the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and a private bank to secure the facility quickly. Innoson has built cars locally in Nigeria for more than a decade. The indigenous manufacturer now has its sprawling production line in Nnewi, a major trading community in Nigeria's southeast, to produce ventilators and automated equipment that pumps air in and out of the lungs of patients unable to breathe on their own. The company would have to install a separate production line or retrofit its existing factory to manufacture medical equipment rather than cars and trucks. The International Air Transport Association, IATA, says reduced demand caused by the coronavirus outbreak has put 91,380 jobs at risk in Nigeria's aviation sector. The association said travel restrictions imposed by several countries to control the spread of the disease have resulted in fewer passengers and revenue loss. In total, it projected that airlines in Africa and the Middle East have lost $23 billion. Mohamed Al-Bakri, IATA Regional President for Africa and the Middle East, said about $19 billion and $4 billion have so far been lost by the airlines operating in the Middle East and Africa, respectively. He therefore called for urgent action from governments in Africa and the Middle East to provide financial relief to the airlines. The United States has recorded 1,169 deaths from COVID-19 in 24 hours, the highest single-day toll from the disease so far in any country. Data from the Johns Hopkins University shows a total of 5,926 deaths have been reported in the U.S., which also has the highest number of cases worldwide at 245,570. In Italy, which has the global single-day record of deaths at 969, a total of 13,915 have now been killed by COVID-19, the highest death toll globally, while Spain, which is the third worst hit country, has also recorded over 10,000 deaths. Europe remains the most affected region, with at least 500,000 cases, more than half of the total infections worldwide. The picture is less gloomy in Africa, with 7,028 cases and 2,284 deaths across 50 countries. More than 212,300 people have recovered from COVID-19 worldwide, as the World Health Organization and individual countries continue to search for a drug and vaccine. The restart dates for the Premier League will be pushed back on Friday. All 20 Premier League clubs will meet via video, and it is accepted by all that there is no hope of professional games being played immediately after the current April 30 deadline. The Premier League could shift the dates back into May or opt to follow Spain and France, who have shut down their leagues for an indefinite period. Europe governing body UEFA has written a joint letter with the European Clubs Association and the European leagues, urging domestic bodies not to abandon their competitions. We'll take a break here and we'll be right back with more stories. Do stay with us. You're welcome back. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, says the death toll from the ongoing Lassa fever outbreak has hit 185 people. As of last week, the number of deaths from the fever was 176, meaning that 9 people died from the Lassa fever within the week. The agency says there was a decline in the number of cases reported for the reporting week 13 as to the 4 consecutive weeks. The Public Health Agency said 19 cases were reported for week 13 compared to 28 reported last week. These cases were reported from 8 states: Edo, Ondo, Ebonyi, Bauchi, Taraba, Plateau, Kogi and Delta. Lassa fever has become an endemic disease in Nigeria and is now being diagnosed all year round. The outbreaks peaks in the dry season from November to May. And now to security matters. Bandits have killed 22 people in an attack on Dangara village in the Sabombini local government area of Sokoto on Wednesday. The Sokoto State Police Command said the attack also left about 20 people injured, while another source indicated that foodstuffs, cows and other animals were also rustled. Sokoto Police Commissioner Ibrahim Sani Kwaje confirmed the incident through the command's public relations officer, ASP Mohammed Abubakar Sadiq. Sadiq said after they received information from Gangara Police Post that a large number of bandits had stormed Gangara village on motorbikes. The Joint Operation Puff Adder and military patrol teams were drafted to the scene. He explained that the bandits unsuccessfully tried to ambush the response team, and the result was a fierce gun duel during which one bandit was shot dead. Let's take a break here to return and join Fidelia Aguncha for Business Stories.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the go-to app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
You're welcome back. Here's Fidelia Aguncha for Business Stories.
Well, thank you very much, Aneta. Nigeria's foreign reserves have continued its downward trend, dropping by $3.02 billion from $38.53 billion on January 2nd to $35.51 billion as of March 27, 2020. This is according to latest statistics from the Central Bank of Nigeria. The information is coming days after the CBN said indications suggest that there will be subdued output growth from the Nigerian economy in 2020. It stated that based on the current downtrend in oil prices, staff projections indicated that output in 2020 would be less than earlier projected. The Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers have threatened to embark on strike within the next 48 hours if the management of the Port Harcourt Refinery Company fails to rescind the decision to sack over 175 casual workers who are its members. The Port Harcourt zone of the union warned that it would order tanker drivers, petrol station workers and others to withdraw their services in solidarity with the sacked workers. Chairman of the union in the zone, Mina Samuel, issued a threat on Thursday, and he said it was unfortunate that while the ward was putting palliative measures in place and protecting workers' rights, the refinery was terminating the appointment of workers. We'll now look at activities at the stock market after this break. Well, the NSE has returned to the negative territory after Thursday's uptrend, which pushed the market up by 0.10%. Today, the market indices dropped by 0.13%, meaning investors lost over 14 billion naira as profit takers sold off key high-cap stocks like MTN and Dangote Cement. Market activity also took a plunge but closed mixed. While the volume and number of deals declined, the value, however, surged by over 150%. and 20 million naira. But like I mentioned earlier, sell-offs in NSC's biggest equities is largely responsible for today's performance. Dangote Cement is the biggest equity on the market, and it leads the pack of losers, dropping by more than 3 naira. MTN, which is the market's second biggest equity, is also falling by just about 9 kobo. It was also a bad day for CNI Leasing and Nigeria Brewers, taking the third and fourth spot on the losers chart. But to the flip side, Zenith Bank, Access Bank, UACN and Guarantee Trust Bank are today's top gainers, meaning that it was a good day for the banking sector. Well, let's now move to the foreign scene and see how the market fared. FTSE and Dow are falling after rising yesterday, just as the U.S. announced the highest death toll from the coronavirus yet. The Nikkei is, however, recording its first gain for the week after falling for more than 4 consecutive days. That is from the world of business. It's back to Annette Felix.
Thanks, Fidelia. Moving on now to the foreign scene. 5 Rwandan soldiers have been arrested after residents of a slum in the capital, Kigali, alleged that they raped women as they enforced a nationwide lockdown to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Residents of Nyarutarama have been telling the military prosecution office that the soldiers also beat up male residents and stole from them. One of the victims told journalists that on 26th March, an armed soldier forced his way into her home and beat her up, beat up her husband, and when she tried to intervene, the soldier raped her. The government imposed a nationwide lockdown to control the spread of COVID-19, but residents have complained about brutality meted out by security officers. Rwanda has confirmed 84 cases of COVID-19. And in sports, Abia Warriors goalkeeper Charles Tambe is currently receiving medical attention at the University College Hospital, Ibadan, after he was shot on Friday morning by hoodlums. It was gathered that Tambe went for his usual morning walkout at about 7 a.m. in Akpata town of Ibadan, where he stays with his family. In the process, some hoodlums attacked him and collected his wristwatch, handset, and thereafter shot him on his hand. Abia Warriors, through their sporting director, Patrick Nwagu, have released a statement confirming the unfortunate incident, but have assured that the situation is firmly under control. And that's it on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. Thanks for watching.